What is up, comic fam, and welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Tuesday. That means it's new DC day for a lot of people. So let's talk about some DC comics. But before we do any of that, check this out. Let's give a big shout out to the channel sponsor, Big Time Collectibles. If you're in the market for some amazing retailer exclusives, as well as some high-end ratios, be sure to check out their website, bigtimecollectibles.com. You can also follow them on Instagram and Facebook, and they can also take care of all your final order cutoff needs. If you don't have an LCS available to you, they can definitely help you out with that. All right, let's get right into it. So we're looking at some new DC books today, and I'm joined by my good friend, John, a.k.a. Coco Loves Chevy. What is going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Talk about a last-minute delight here. I just shared out that I was about to go live, and John said, I want on. I said, let's do this.
Yeah, because I might have to go to work later. But, man,
Yeah,
I love
perfect
comics,
timing.
dude. So, dude, that dark side, man. Okay, we save that for last.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's funny because while that excessively long intro was playing, I actually just took my books and stacked them in order, and I just put that one on the bottom.
Oh, cool, man. Cool. So we're on the same vibe. Awesome.
Yeah, good call. Good call. So, yeah, Tuesdays I tend to try to keep them a little bit short now and kind of just do like a video that's easy for people to catch on the rewind and watch. But I like to just go live so I get a minute to talk about these books that I picked up with the chat and whatnot. So it's just a little bit easier. So first book that I hauled today was Batman the Imposter. So this is that new book by Mattinson Tomlin. Andrea Sorrentino is doing the art, and Jordi Belair is doing the covers. It's from Black Label. Was this one on your radar?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I hear there's two Batmans.
There is. So this is the whole premise.
I just don't want to spoil it for everybody, but I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, the premise of it is like this is early Batman, so he's only been around for just a couple of years. So he's still in the phase of rustling a lot of new feathers, and they're taking the angle where how does he affect corporate world? How does he affect the one percenters? Not necessarily the criminals, but how does his actions affect them, and what is their response to that? And it looks like, just from the solicitation, that their response is to frame the man out of existence. But
absolutely.
It was
anytime
definitely
you have an imposter, you have somebody wanting to frame somebody else.
Yeah.
Because somebody wants to take your place. So
I'm kind of wondering how is this going to like actually, because it's a Black Label book. So you always got to be careful if you're expecting like high-end action or just riveted drama story. So I'm trying to hold back expectations, and who knows, this imposter might not even be a fighter. You know, it might not even come down to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it could even be one of the one percenters.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm not taking anything off the table with the Black Label stuff too. You know, it's not shackled by canon. They can just do their own thing and hit you with whatever.
Right. But I kind of like it better because go ahead.
Go ahead.
I kind of like the Black Label better in this case because it's a refreshing break from like nonstop action stuff, and it gives me a little bit more of the background of some of these characters. So.
Dude, I feel like you've really developed the characters so much better in these Black Label books. Even though they're limited runs, I think that actually plays to their favor and not being tied down by that greater continuity. Some writers can handle that greater continuity really well, and some you're just in it for whatever time that we're stuck on it. But it does play well so far. But let me say hey to some of these people in the chat real quick. We just dove right in. But what's going on, James? Glad you can make it. Biggie himself from New World Order Comics. What is up, brother?
Biggie, what's up?
We got Digger Jim in the chat, a channel member. Definitely appreciate that. Nick's Kicks and Comics. He just dropped an awesome. Boy. Yeah, Nick just dropped an awesome shop video today. He did a walkthrough of one of his local comic shops, which I have one of those videos coming up here soon. I've been trying to do that recently. he said he's got a football game to watch and an envelope to open from #WeAreLegion. Yeah.
Oh,
So I was just asking Coco Love Chevy if he got his in yet, but people are just now starting to message me to let me know that they're getting their welcome pack. So if you're a channel member, I try to send out a welcome pack to everybody. So make sure if you are a channel member, you haven't sent me your information yet, you send that.
yeah, that's awesome, man. Not many people do the welcome pack. I think that's kind of a new thing. Maybe not, but I haven't heard so many people doing it. So
Yeah.
kudos
Well, I
to you.
think it's definitely appropriate because the whole premise of my channel isn't, I'm not like view chasing, I'm not subscriber chasing. The whole point of it is to hang out with a comic community and to be a very open to all kind of place. Like if you disagree with me, even more invited. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have engaging different perspectives and opinions that we can just dive into these books and just enjoy comics.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on, Stephen C?
Stephen C.
The man, the myth, the legend himself. DJ Links is in the building. Another channel member.
DJ Links, my brother.
We got Steve from Burke Family 54 up in here. An awesome channel member. Without Steve, I wouldn't be on YouTube today. Like he is the guy that motivated me and helped me along the way. Nicole, what's going on? Thanks for hopping in. Oh. We got a new channel member. Stephen C has joined the Legion. Ooh. Awesome, man. I appreciate that. So
man, awesome. Welcome, fam.
Yeah, when I get off here, I'll do my thing and get you added to one of the group chats. So all the channel members, it's not a promised perk of being in here, but I do have created group chats to put everybody from Instagram on so that I can share when we do the members only and announcements and information and stuff like that. So if you follow me on Instagram already, shoot me a message so that it's easy to find the right Stephen C. That seems there might be a few of them on there. But yeah, and I'll get your information and get you a welcome pack sent out as well. New World Biggie. Scrolling down. Yeah, that's Ruby G.
Oh, okay.
Hopped on me. What's going on, Robin Comics? Glad you're here. Foosball. Scott from Hitter's Hide, my man. Foosball. Yeah. Ruby G up in the chat, throwing those custom emojis, which are another perk from joining the channel. Yes. Mr. Becker, how's it going? So let's see if there's anyone new down here. Blah, 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 blah. Trying to get to the bottom of it. It's moving fast. Welcome, Stephen. Welcome.
I think I'm at the bottom right now.
Welcome packs is the right thing to do. Yeah, DJ sent out welcome packs. That's a classy individual as well.
Dude's awesome.
And speaking of that, Ruben, I know that you're not as active on IG. You have my email, and if you don't, just you are able to message me on IG. But since you're here now, send me your information because I don't have the old email from our old correspondence anymore. I email you. He's a classic kind of man. He likes handwritten sentiments and emails over other forms of social media.
Hey, I always like a handwritten note. I got that from Wink Ink, man. It's more personal. It's got a better touch to it. So I'm with you.
I'm a little bit old school in that as well. I have to watch a TikTok right now, or my wife's not going to like me. It's a dog blowing bubbles in a water bowl.
Oh, I love the dogs, man. Look at him. Is he sleeping?
No, he's bored. His little toe's broken.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame him on that. Look at him.
So my wife just made her first TikTok less than 10 minutes ago. The kids are sleeping, so she's taking advantage of them sleeping to make TikTok videos of them.
It's so much fun.
She's excited.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thanks. Trying to get Mark to dance with me now. He's not doing it.
No.
Hey, it's all about having fun too. When the kids are sleeping, maybe you can finally, have a little fun yourself. So
yeah. So like I said, Batman the Imposter.
That was an imposter.
When is the giveaway? The channel member giveaway I announced. I'm going to attempt to do those the first Sunday of every month for the previous month. I'll announce the winners on that week's end.
Legion.
I just talked to my channel sponsor today. He's going to be mailing out the books for the October box at the beginning of next week. He's shooting for, so it's going to be cutting it close on there. I was wanting to get it out and show everybody, but still ironing out the details with all that. This is just the first month of having that awesomeness to be able to give back to the channel members. But yeah, Big Time Collectibles is sponsoring the box, and I think that's just fantastic. So I'm just going to roll with it for now and get it all, try to iron it out as time goes. But yeah.
Hey, just make sure, Legion, you don't. I'll only communicate by carrier pigeon.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure you don't put me in for that box, man. I'm just here to support. I said, please don't put me in for that box. I don't want to take away from somebody else. I have so much.
If anybody is in that tier that qualifies for it, I want to put it in there, and what they do with it from there is up to them. If they message out to me and tell me to send it to X, Y, or Z, I will. You know what I mean? But it's cool. Theirs, and that's how I think is the easiest way to roll with it. You know what I mean?
Sounds great, man. Sounds great.
Yeah, my dad joined the channel because he's like, he couldn't be more excited to be like, he's the one that got me into comics before I was even born, kind of thing, and to see just kind of expanding what we do with comics and talk more. He just is very supportive of it, but he obviously has no desire or need to win that box, so he's the only name that I'm going to go out of my way to keep off the wheel.
Look at DJ Link said, if I win, send it to Coco. No man, don't send it to me. Brother, we're gonna send it to somebody else. I wish I could really reach out to the people that don't have that opportunity to get some of these exclusives and stuff and kind of help them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's hard to really figure it out.
No, you didn't miss the 1K giveaway. I haven't done it yet because I'm trying to space out what's going on, and I'm still actually building that up and waiting to get that art piece from John Jang here. Now that con seasons have ramped back up, he's busier than he was before, so it was a trying time to do that, but there's really no rush for it. I don't feel like there's been other stuff happening on the channel as well. And there's an original piece of art that Sector 2815 donated. It's an actual page from Green Lantern. There'll be that signed piece from John Jang. There'll be some major first appearances and stuff. So it's definitely going to be worth the wait because I'm steadily building more and more to it as well as time goes.
Nice.
Yeah. We got Brandon from Comics King here. Dude, he just dropped an amazing Creators Corner episode today. He hung out with Dan Waters and Danny, the two creative minds behind Arkham World. That was such a fun little interview that he did.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great, man. Appreciate you sending that information over to me so I can check him out.
Yeah. Yeah, he's awesome, man. I think more people need to find him because he gets a hold of these creators and just he does really cool with them because he's like real in depth with them, but he also has this really chill vibe with them. It's almost like he's known him forever.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. Love that kid. And he's not a kid; he's a grown man. And I love that young man.
He's a grown man, but he's still
some jerk off. He's definitely young. Like he needs to take advantage of being young and own it. But that's not why I said that. Because some jerk off, he left a comment on a thread yesterday, and some jerk off responded to him and belittling him because of his age, like he's incapable of knowing what he's talking about, which was so far beside the truth it was offensive. So I want to make sure he knows that I'm not talking about him like that. I have much respect for that young man.
Brandon, man, you handled yourself like a grown man in there. I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for bringing that content, brother. We stand with you.
He's awesome. All right, so back to comics real quick. We got 13 people in here. Hope to God that they're here for some comics. If it isn't, this Evil Air Projects and Builds, they just recently passed their 1,000 subscriber and 4,000 watch hour limit. They did it in record time. Congrats to you, Kofi and Joe. You're going to have to talk to Joe about that. It's impressive. But Strange Adventures from Tom King and Mitch Gerard's wrapped up today, finally. So it's not like it's been delayed or anything, but it's been a 12-issue maxi series coming out once a month. Dude, this has been such a good read. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. It's one of those ones that fall under the high drama category, but it's been really good. I know that a lot of people are split on Tom King stuff, and I don't know.
It's kind of hit and miss right now with me with Tom King stuff. I wish there would be a little more consistency to where I can see the true vision. You know what I mean? Of where he's taking these things.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people's problem is you just kind of read them and wait for the turn is what it's been for a long time now. Yeah. So I don't disagree with that critique at all. And like between what was it, Mr. Miracle, Rorschach,
still legend.
Between those, they're all like very similar in the way that he structured them. But I feel like he's kind of changed it up with the Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Mm-hmm. It is not that same format at all. So I guess I don't know if he's trying new things or if he's kind of taking people's feedback into consideration. But Supergirl has been a completely different animal, which has been phenomenal. But we also have the Human Target maxi series about to be starting. which I'm definitely looking forward to that. We'll be picking it up. So I'm excited to see what he does as a writer differently, or if he goes back to that same kind of trope of there being like, here's the present, here's the past, what's going on, find out at the end. It's definitely a lot to juggle. Like if all comic books were done like that, there's no way in hell I'd be reading comic books on the regular. But having that one title that does it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's just really not my cup of tea, but I'm not hating on anybody, not talking bad about Tom King.
Oh yeah, everything's not meant for everyone ever. You know what I mean? There's plenty out there that's not my cup of tea.
I love how though you do really try out some new things, some obscure titles that I've never really thought about going after. So you've got me interested.
I've got one of these Hot Topic titles over here. If I even show this, it's not DC, it's from 2 weeks ago, but I just finally brought it in the house. It's been in the car between the seat and the armrest. I keep forgetting it's there. It's in perfectly fine shape, but it'll definitely piss a lot of people off. So I might show that off. If we want to get into Hot Topic conversations, I might show that off.
I think at the end there's going to be a little hot topic. So
yeah, there's another hot topic. We'll save some of that risque conversation for the end. If y'all want to hear thoughts on John Kent, this questionable title that'll split the community, and see probably the cover of the week, just stay till the end. But Superman and the Authority wrapped up today with issue number 4. This has been a enjoyable but not necessary miniseries, kind of bridging the gap from what Clark Kent's been doing in Superman behind the scenes till he gets to War World, starting off next issue of Action. But he basically puts together this team that you're going to see with him going to War World, since the Justice League can't go with him and stuff. So it was just really an introduction to this team. There's no big things that happened. They did kind of beef it up by having the Ultra Humanite put his brain in a Solomon Grundy body to try to fight Superman. But it was awful.
I thought that was the brain thing. It was kind of like borrowed from Dr. Manhattan when The Darkest Knight did it. You know what I mean? So I was kind of like,
And that's his whole shtick anyways. I thought it was cool him putting it in a Grundy body, but even then, it was just the whole thing.
But look, the hot topic part of it that we were talking about, I think that's we don't even need to go into that hot topic part, because it's just really, you got a lot of controversy and people can take things out of context. So I plead the fifth.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll
plead the fifth. You're gonna have to sit on.
I'll definitely give my thought on it. Absolutely, because it'll surprise people what my opinion on it is, and everyone will still be sitting there.
We're all waiting. We're waiting.
Yeah. Joker number 8 came out, so this is.
It's like the 90th Joker title. I'm like, dude, I'm burnt out with Joker as far as
the same way.
Everybody's take on him. I'm like,
That first run had me intrigued, but then it kind of just tuckered out, and now I'm like, why is it still going? Why wasn't it just a mini series? I think I'm only still picking it up to complete the Tynan issues, which I think end at 12, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure they end at
11 or 12. Yeah,
somewhere around there. I don't know for sure.
Do you have any Steel Knight in there?
Any Steel Knight?
Yeah. The new
Dark Knights of Steel. Yeah, that one's not out yet. I cannot wait for that from Tom Taylor.
Dude, yes, man. I'm excited. And we got another Throne cover.
Yeah, with that.
Digging the Throne covers. Yeah.
I think that was a 616 Comics exclusive as well from Kale New. Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. If not, Bert can correct us on that.
Yeah. Well, I try to repeat valid information, or either just say I don't know if I don't know. So I hope I'm not wrong. So Nick said that Delgado cover for that is fire.
Definitely.
I think the Delgado cover was Batman standing there holding a scythe up or something like that.
Yeah, and it was kind of like in the ground or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I'm almost home. Just say it. LOL.
Just say
it. Next book I picked up for today is from Chip Zdarsky, a man who's definitely undervalued and should be doing more comics than he is doing. But it's Justice League Last Ride, number 6. So this is kind of a standalone story that kind of shows you a fracturing of the team. I think it kind of was meant to play into where the Justice League stood during Future State, how they were disbanded and had this stain on their reputation and stuff. But That's been really interesting. It's another one that's it's a good balance between action scenes as well as that very, very gritty, gloomy dialogue, high drama book. But it's really been ambitious. I mean, we've had like Dark Side in there, we've had Mongol in there, we've had the World Planet Order doing all kind of crazy stuff. But it's got a lot going on for it, so I'm definitely excited to read it. And I just found out today that there's more than 6 issues of it, so I was excited for it to wrap up, just because I want to see how it plays out. But now I'm kind of even more excited that it's going to go on for a little bit longer.
Oh, and Chip Zdarsky, man, I agree with you on that. He's very underrated, but I think maybe his brilliance and his genius is that he doesn't overwhelm himself with all these different titles.
Yeah,
and maybe that allows him to flesh it out a little bit better.
Yeah, up until recently, there's been no reason for me to even pick up Spider-Man books except when he's kind of stepped in and the life story was really good. So I tried out the What If Spider Shadow, and it started out pretty strong. It kind of tuckered me into just mediocre.
I think they wanted to put that out there because of that What If series that was coming out, and it was like, I get it, man. What if he'd have kept the suit or whatever, but the art wasn't the best in there, and I was kind of like.
And I've learned from people much wiser than myself that it's not really advantageous to be an art critic. You know what I mean? Because art is so subjective to begin with, but it just definitely wasn't.
And it had its own style.
Yeah, I feel like with that one specifically, you can even say that probably for that lazy artist, if I went and looked up other stuff they did, I feel like this book would be an example of their not so great work, because there was a lot of it that was just rough to look at. Yeah,
and I was like, was this just a rough draft? And they're like, hey, print it.
Yeah, run with it. Good, throw some colors on it. We're done here.
Something? Yeah. And I was like, man, I was just confused. And I was like, okay, I know. Maybe it's abstract. So, I was like, okay, whatever, man. We're trying to get into the story. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
The story really had me hooked when Peter had gone like full on Venom. But we're halfway in and it turns into just an alternate version of what we already know and not too far off.
Yeah, but, we're not really getting, once again, I would like to see some of Eddie's childhood with the Venom series. Let's get away from Dylan and the new Venom and the chains on his arm like Spawn. And I'm like, I'd like to see Eddie, what happened whenever he ran over that, the little boy in the street, and his dad, what all happened with all that as far as the backstory. His dad was prominent in the community, Eddie Brock's dad, and it really took a toll on him. So we're not seeing a whole lot of story here. We're almost seeing like the CGI movies.
No, that movie was atrocious.
No, I'm talking about like all movies right now with the CGI effects and very little storytelling and character development. And I know it may sound retarded, but I mean, I like learning about the characters because that's when we start to care about the movie, I believe.
Yeah. I definitely think that movies I call it fast food cinema, when you kind of get the same cookie cutter model for movies when they're not really investing too heavily in the characters and just trying to do the quick laughs and flashy scenes and 90-minute runtime and be done. Just kind of in and out.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to not rushing something and putting some quality into it, that brings me to the cover of the week for me. And I'm calling it now before the rest of them come out tomorrow. But this Justice League Last Ride, issue number 6. And let me free bag it real quick. But this one right here, like I saw this probably like 2 months ago. I saw the solicitation for that, and it just blew me away. Like it looks like they did I forget what it's called, but like when people paint with like knives and just straight edges and stuff, palette painting or I don't know.
I think you're in the ballpark. I'm not as familiar with that technique, but I love that cover.
I'm not either. But when you look at this, you can tell like it looks like at least it was done like on an actual piece of canvas. Like look at this fish, you can see like raised marks on it and whatnot. It was just really impressive. Kind of blew me away.
Yeah, it's almost like he painted it one style and then kind of went over it with some textures. And I mean, it's just really fantastic. It's something new, something fresh.
I think that's the basic word that I was looking for. I was thinking beyond it, but it's super textured.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Super textured.
And I bet like in person, it's so much better.
Oh, and it's on one of those cardstock covers. No.
Yeah. Is it a cardstock?
I think so. It's definitely thicker than that. Yeah, it is.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got that high gloss on it and everything.
And I think that's where DC has really stepped their game up. I know a lot of people, talk down on them for some of the things, but their quality of paper and the cardstock they're using, man, it's just awesome. It's easier for me to get a better grade. And somebody opened their Legion kit.
So I'm glad to see the people's Legion kits are showing up. So New Guy got his, Sector got his, Nick got his. So yeah, those should be rolling in.
Yeah, so Coco's just going to sit here and cry because he don't get one, but that's
Coco gets one. Lotus and Coco's address.
Nah, no. Yeah, I know. I didn't really know about you were doing it. So, TikTok.
She came running in here, halfway changed clothes since the last time you seen her, saying she made a new TikTok. This has got to be some kind of game, a one-person game that I wasn't invited to play. What is going on, Free Energy, up in the chat? What do you have on your
Free Energy, my brother?
What do you got on your pool list for this week that you're excited about?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. That definitely. I'm more of a Marvel guy, but I do dabble into DC, dude. That Batman Imposter. I'm really liking a lot of these newer Batman, even if it's a one shot or a one off, whatever it is. And I know that the movie's got me so hyped because I believe it's a masterpiece.
I think there's a lot of elements in that kind of are pulling from that movie. For one, the time era, and you're going to see there's a part of the trailer, like when you see Pattinson sitting there with his mask off, and you still have the smoky eyes from where he puts it on, that exact still image is in that book. So they're really kind of leaning into it, which I think is a smart move right now to kind of get people's minds
trained. It almost has a Crow feel to it.
Yes, yeah, that
know
dark,
what I'm saying?
everything.
And I was
it just rained everywhere, and
yeah. So I've got the Batman, the Imposter. I'm gonna be pulling that. I still really dig in the Batmans. I'm trying to get as many of those. The Jace, Tim Fox.
Yeah,
I get all.
Batman.
Yeah, anytime I find them, I pick them up.
Now, did you pull Amazing Spider-Man last week when they switched creative teams?
No, because I wanted to kind of get the reaction first of what everybody thought of it, because it's going to be like a different creator on every one, or
I think it's kind of like what they're about to be doing with Venom moving forward, where you have Al Ewing and Ron V both working on Venom together. I don't think that those two guys are going to be working on the same book at the same time. I think they're going to be alternating, because I noticed you have a huge creative team taking over ASM. It's moving to 3 times a week release. 3 times a month release. And that first issue was Kelly Thompson. The next one, Zeb Wells is writing. So I think they're all just kind of storyboarding together and taking different issues to get it out at that rate, which I think is excessive.
Well, the previous writer liked to destroy me on that one. It was.
He about destroyed
I was going to say, it took, how many issues did it take to get to the big reveal for who the big bad guy was?
75.
I was like, man, dude. I was like, I gotta cut this off here.
Yeah, it wasn't well received by most, not at all.
No.
Let's see, Kang number 3 and Darkhold Iron Man one shot are on Free Energy's list. We got Superpower review in here. What is going on, Kevin? Hope you're doing good. Some more on my list. The big one, probably definitely my top pick for the week that I'm looking forward to story-wise is that finale to the Immortal Hulk drops tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Number 50.
That
we're looking forward to see what the Green Door, and I think it's all going to come together. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I'm betting that door gets shut. I'm betting that the whole immortal aspect of the Hulk is going to get shut off, at least for now. So that the new writer can, because without going into the same territory that Al Ewing took this whole run, it would be hard to really have too much danger or caring or concern of the well-being of your main character if that door is still open,
Or what if the door just it never closes? You know what I'm saying? But a door, it has handles, right? And it opens from both sides. So just like we've seen the Avengers. Yeah, with the Avengers, we've seen that. We've seen Jeremy Renner. He talked about it, He's like, well, it's a doorway. So it opens from both sides. So I thought that was something that just stuck with me. And then when I started reading this, I was like, what about that? What if Hulk separates, Bruce Banner, we get the whole, I'm just not sure what Donny Cates is going to do.
Dude, I think that Donny Cates is going to wipe his hands free of Immortal Hulk is what I'm afraid of. In all sincerity, knowing, like, kind of looking at his track record and seeing already what he's about to do, like, you already see Hulk flying around in space with a jetpack and a Weapon X helmet on. So exactly.
Yeah, you're right on the money with that. I mean that.
Well, I think that Al Ewing has been tasked with closing off this run, and I'd be okay with having a contained 50-issue run. You know what I mean? And you're not bogging down the next writer, despite it being Donny Cates or whoever it is. You're not going to bog them down with your stuff. So, what I'm just speculating on the story here is that they're going to slam that green door shut. Some of these personalities that have been drawn out of him and stuck in the place below all are going to come back to him. You have Joe Fixit, you have the Devil Hulk, you have like the World Breaker Hulk, you have the Immortal Hulk. I think we're going to get a culmination of some of those personalities coming back and some of them being left behind permanently until the next writer tries to tackle it down the road. I think they're going to slam the green door shut permanently, which all this means temporarily until someone wants to write on it. But that way that this Hulk can actually face danger in the next one. I think that they're going to try to ramp him up to a Hulk that we haven't seen before, because that's one of the appeals of Hulk is getting to create your own version of him and calling it a different personality and all that good stuff. But that's just what I'm expecting.
Is it going to be a retelling, though, of the same story? That's what, like, not the Immortal Hulk, but I'm talking about like the original. Is he going to go back to the basics? Because I think sometimes you have to, sometimes you have to go backwards in order to move that character forward.
And that's what maybe something they did so well. They went back to that original, he turns to the Hulk at night. They went back to the basics of the Hulk and then threw a horror spin on it. So if he's able to go back to like some of the basic elements that make him cool and twist it his own way, I'm for it. I'm just afraid that he's going to make him a cosmic.
And we know he can't finish. I'm sorry, but we know that we're going to be disappointed in the end, and he's going to bring some new characters that are really old characters back into this whole Hulk universe, and we're going to see what happens from there.
So we saw with the Free Comic Book Day thing, he went into Ames Laboratory and jacked MODOK for a piece of hardware, and it was the Weapon H helmet is what it looked like. How long do we have to wait for the Batman to come out? It's next year, and the 16th, this coming Saturday, around there. I'm not 100% sure, but the 16th this coming Saturday is DC Fandom Event, which you should go to dcfandom.com and register to watch, or either come hang out here on the weekend. We'll definitely be talking about it and going over a lot of stuff, but they're going to give us a lot more information on all the upcoming DC properties for their annual mega event. We got Mark Spector Comics all the way from the other side of the country now. I hope you had a safe travels. I hope you're making your way there. My man here just took on a new job position where him and his family are going to be going to Colorado for a while, which is fantastic.
Oh, wow. I kind of know what he's going to be doing out there, Mark.
Yeah, he's actually working
in touch with Mother Nature. Yeah, medical field.
Yeah. And we have another new channel member. Thank you so much, Pocan Joe.
Awesome,
big shout out. I definitely appreciate that. I know how to get in touch with you. I will be doing that to send you. I think I probably still have your address. It's in here anyways. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I'll be adding you to all the necessary stuff. I have nothing on my pool. I do think I ordered Venom Spawn crossover. That's about it. That door also has hinges. Yeah, and they're about to bust those hinges. That was one of the cooler things they did in the last few issues, where Hulk was definitely down and out, and you have the Red Hulk personality, and the leader turned the door red, and then Hulk came back through it. So you have this cool amalgam of the regular Hulk, but his veins were coursing red gamma through him. It was wicked cool.
What about what do you think about the Dark Hulk? We got Doom pulling the strings.
I'm so far out of the loop. I have no clue what's going on with that book at all.
It's going to be interesting because you basically have Dr. Doom kind of over all this, and it's I don't know. It has a strange feel to it, but I'm really looking forward to see where they're going to take it from here.
Yeah, I know that they're kind of handling it in a series of one shots too, right? Because this week it's
going to be like Scarlet Witch is going to get her own, and then
and kind of like the story's just going through different characters. I'm assuming you're going to be following the book all different people are dealing
Yeah,
with it.
because the Darkhold, I mean, that when you open that book, that's what Agatha had, in WandaVision. When you open that book, it changes you. And look what it's already done to Iron Man. Just look at the cover.
Yeah.
It's like permanently bonded that suit to him. So,
I
imagine.
agree with DJ here. Now, this is the part that's going to bother me the most. So we already know that if you're a Hulk fan before Donnie took over, you're a fan of the character for numerous different reasons. None of those reasons are going to be what Donnie does. Donnie's going to try to do his own thing, good, bad, or indifferent, and he's going to have this inflated hype train that no matter what he does, they're going to scream that the books are good and try to take him to the secondary market. Because right now he just carries the secondary market following with him, which that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not a fair weather fan of this character, it's going to be a rough era for you, like myself, where he's just going to be doing all this crazy. Like he took Venom, a street level murderous psycho Spider-Man heel, and turned him into a cosmic dysfunctional handicapped space daddy, and that is what he did in its most simplest form. And people screamed its praises the whole time.
Well, it was different, man, and people didn't really have a lot to do with remember the shutdown, the lockdown. So everybody's like sitting at home, like, oh crap, look at Venom, man. Yeah, I mean, they were bored. So
and see, like right here, Biggie said he's got to get Hulk on his pool. Like for me, it blows my mind that people will see Donny Cates is about to take over Hulk. I have to read it. Yet for the past X amount of years now, the best Hulk run in the history of the character, easily since the Peter David era, has been happening. And people haven't been picking up and screaming about it, but but I hope it's good. I really do hope it's good. I'm going to pick it up. Like I said, good, bad, or indifferent. Hulk is like tied for my favorite character of all time, and I'm going to be getting it. I'm going to be reading it, and I hope to God I love it. But it's just when that hype train comes in and just starts screaming its praises, despite the fact they're not even reading it or whatever. That's mind.
When we just get on here and real talk with it. You know what I mean? And just have fun, because I'm learning that. Like, I went into the Venom movie expecting something, and of course I was disappointed. And then I went and seen it again, but I watched it through my grandson's eyes, and it was amazing.
Different story,
just to watch it through his eyes and see his reactions, and I thought it was so cool. So.
See, I do that with my 14-year-old daughter. I'll watch something. I try to watch stuff like right when it drops so that I can talk about it and stuff. And then I'll go back and watch it when she's over here because she'll want to see it, and just watching her reaction and this and that. I'm like, that made it work. Perfect example, Avengers Endgame. I thought that scene was pretty cringe when they had the female power moment and put everyone there. And I don't think like female empowerment is cringe. I think that in the midst of this battle that is just X amount of years in the making, you're going to go out of your way to force these random characters on a battlefield by themselves. What are the actual mathematical probability of these people on this field right here at the same time? Like, it threw me off as a viewer watching it from that perspective. But then my daughter watched it, and she literally starts tearing up. Like, she was 13 at the time, tearing up, bouncing on the couch, screaming like, okay, that was epic. That was epic.
Yeah, and it makes it worth it. Like, I didn't understand, because I'm looking at it through an adult child eyes, me. Like, I love comics, love toys. But then whenever I watched it through the eyes of an innocent, like my grandson, it blew me away, man, because I was like, okay, I see. And he don't have any preconceived notion going in. And it's hard for me to go in without an expectation. So it's so cool.
He said Miles pissing his pants was pretty dope. So what do you think this is a subject changer real quick before we head out. What do you think the likelihood of Miles showing up in this movie is? Do you think that that's the big reveal they're holding back? Everyone knows that
he's coming.
He's coming. If they've already let us know and let it leak that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's going to be there, dude, there's no way Miles isn't coming. Like, if they're
I could do without either one of them.
Yeah,
honestly,
so you know what I mean. Know all this, there ain't no way he's not coming. That's going to be the big final battle. Like, they're going to have to reach into the multiverse for extra help.
Grace comes back. Let's get Topher Grace back in there. Let him redeem himself. Yeah.
I like his look. I like his look on his suit better than this new one. Nothing against the new one. I know they have their hands tied with the rights and everything and can't do the logo.
It's a little rubbery.
Yeah,
the new one.
I like that Topher Grace suit a lot. His size wasn't all there, but it matched his body, and it's kind of. And in that era too, like, I was watching a lot of the Sam Raimi stuff, like seeing they're pulling from '60s comic books and Ultimate Spider-Man, like total opposite ends of the spectrum, and like so I understood that whole angle with the smaller Eddie Brock and everything, because he he was weak and on death's door with the ultimate stuff almost. Like he was a little dude.
Yeah, like he hit rock bottom, man. And that's why I think the character is so intriguing because, you know, he hits rock bottom. He has a hatred for Spider-Man because it's not because of what they say in like the movies now, you know, it's because he got exposed as a phony, a fraud. Mm-hmm. And the symbiote suit, you know, came off Spider-Man. He got it off in the church, and then it went on to him. And they were trying to backstory it and say, hey, Anne Wayne, you know, they say she killed herself in the beginning. They tried to say, you know, she killed herself, and then we find her in a different Earth. I mean, it's mind-blowing the direction Donnie took it in. But it opened up a lot of possibilities for the multiverse. And
also, in the good note is I think he brought a lot of people into comics who weren't reading comics just because of the hype that was going on around it, you know. Mm-hmm. Creators' contracts were crap in the 60s. I think that's why they used them. Marvel don't want to pay creators, so they just use Kirby stuff. Yeah, and that's a double-edged sword as well about paying creators because, like, where does it stop? Like, people come in and sign a contract to do a job, but they did it back then with no idea that things like Superman, Batman, or Spider-Man would become like multi-billion-dollar franchises on their own. Mm-hmm. So going back and paying creators, like that would be more difficult. That you have to work that out in modern contracts moving forward. Because like otherwise you'd be like, well, this person worked on Spider-Man during this era and he helped redefine him in this way and blah blah blah. So like creators definitely should get paid, but
they're trying to match it to the times. Okay, you know, I mean, everything's outrageous right now. If you're going to pay for something, you're going to probably overpay for everything, you know. And it's been that way for a little while. But the creators, I think the pandemic helped them a whole lot because it showed that you can just as easily market online and to more people quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's why Disney tried to take the Black Widow and, okay, we're going to throw it on Disney Plus. And they tried to have their cake and eat it too. And it ended up being a little, you know, messy, but I think they're back on track. So
yeah, and that's an important thing because, like, with these streaming services becoming what they are, we're still in the infancy stages of media switching to these. So they're learning along the way. So I think that from our perspective, it probably looked a lot more messy than it potentially was. You know, from like the actual people handling it and the red tape you have to go through legal from our end. It was like, oh, Disney don't want to pay her, and Disney could have been saying like, well, yeah, we're trying to pay her, but we have to file these papers and we have to bring these people in to make sure. So we don't really know, but the fact of the matter is they paid her. Like, and they're like with little fuss. So
yeah, I think in the end, you know, she got a cut that she was supposed to get.
Yeah, she was. And I'm glad. She get a percentage of box office sales, so they had to find a way. They're still trying to figure out how to collect proper data from streaming stuff, and with Disney, it's a little bit easier because people are paying that early access. But then, like, you have to be able to account for like watches and stuff like that.
Views and all that. Yeah, absolutely. The algorithm, that's got to be a complex machine right now. So
so you know, like with HBO Max, they didn't even release the official numbers for Justice League, the Snyder Cut. But what they did do last week, is they made an official announcement that it was a global smash for them. It was an absolute phenomenon for them. So that was their first official word on it at all, was that it was a global hit.
Hey, so I sat through that and never got bored 1 second.
My wife woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning to catch it as soon as it was available. It was, I have my copy of it right here on my, this is all Snyder Cut variants that they did with the McFarlane's figures of Steppenwolf, and that's the gold label Dark Side that only
I have him.
6 pieces were sent out to one Target each. My wife went from work. She left work because there was word of them at our local, and she caught it.
Yeah, absolutely. I have Dark Side. I have a lot of the McFarlane toys. I have a lot of them.
There's the whole
I have
set.
The Batman Beyond. Oh, what is that over there?
Those are the whole set of the McFarlane Snyder ones. The only one I don't have is the blue suit Superman variant.
Did you get the Spawn comic?
No, I got these all out of store.
Okay. So I ordered Dark Side and Batman Beyond, and then used code Spawn50, and I got that. Gold foil Spawn.
And you know what's funny is cool. I went to their website and ordered, because we talked about this a couple Fridays ago or whatnot. So I went to their website and ordered something else from them. since we talked even, and I completely forgot to put the code in again. It just gapped me. Yeah, so here it is, real quick. This is what I was about to get at. Rumor is Justice League 2, directed by Zack Snyder, is being announced at Fandom. So this is a big deal. So DC via HBO Max made that announcement that it was a global hit, and we already know that Walter Hamada, the big guy in charge at DC, wants to send out. He wants to make part 2. Walter Hamada was not integral in making part 1, but he saw that it was succeeded, so he wants to make part 2. No secret here. Warner Brothers is about to be merging, buying out whatever with Discovery Channel's little film studio people.
Yes.
Well, the guy who runs that and the big wigs at AT&T are stopping Walter Hamada from moving forward with a part 2 to Snyder's Justice League. His job is also on the line with this merger. The gentleman who works at Discovery, who will be the one to replace Walter Hamada, also wants it made. So it looks like Walter wants to do it to save his job, while the guy who's taking his job said, "No, I'll do it when I get there."
But
so
you have to do it. You gave me Dark Side, and you're telling me you're not going to go through with this? No, it's like standing me up at the altar. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. I'm going to bring you back to the altar.
And it was, dude. I thought, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm one of those people that just overhyped the movie in my head, and I really loved it more than I should have. But I thought it was fantastic.
No, I don't think that was possible. If you were somebody that was prone to want it to happen, when you finally got it, it was everything you wanted and more. Because I'm probably the biggest fanboy of that movie that I know. Like, I've been asked on numerous different occasions, like, what's your favorite superhero movie? Oh, hands down right now, the Snyder Cut. There's not even a close second. There's a lot of stuff that is like, that's not putting down anything else. But for me, as a huge DC fan, as someone who's had countless conversations about that movie and the possibility of it being made, having arguments about people about what the Donner cut was for the Chris Reeves Superman movie and how that's a perfect example of how this can happen. And then it happens and Zack delivers everything that he could. In case this is all he'll ever get to give us, he gave us 4 hours of everything he possibly could. And then, it was just
worked so good, man. It worked so well. I thought Wonder Woman was used beautifully in it. I thought everybody got their moment. You know what I mean? And maybe even a little more.
Yeah, dude, that every time I go back and watch it, like that scene when Cyborg is coming into terms with his powers and he's hearing his dad's dialogue talking to him, and you're seeing like the whole like what's going on in his head, it just blows me away. Yeah, and then the end when Barry turns up, when the unity finally happens, the explosion goes off and Barry just puts his hand up. And just that one simple motion, he puts his hand up, he just steps into the Speed Force. And was like, what is happening?
Yeah, it blew my mind. I was like, why would they shelve this? They must have been mad at him because this blew. They chopped it up. It was horrible what they did to it.
But in all the stuff that you hear about, like the kind of controversy with Joss Whedon and Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg, and like people try to defend Joss Whedon without knowing, but then you see the actual cut of the film and how much Cyborg is in it and how big of a part he played. You're like, oh, this doesn't look good for Whedon. Not at all.
No, and it's like it was like, okay, I'm mad at you, so I'm going to cut you out of most of the scenes. That's ridiculous. We're supposed to be professional here, and you're going to do that to me. Zack Snyder, kudos to him. I think he produced something that's going to last a long time.
No, I will not argue that point with you, Biggie. Superman the movie is like, as you've been on this channel, I just changed this poster out. This is typically Chris Reeves Superman poster because that is my Superman. That is Superman. That will never change for me.
But look, Legion, whenever I saw the Man of Steel, I seen it in IMAX. Let me tell you something, man. It was breathtaking. And then when he snapped Zod's neck,
I yelled "oh shit" out loud in the theater.
Let me tell you something. That was one of the few times I got the goosebumps and I really felt the emotion from the character. And you're like, okay, we had a lot of CGI and he flew and they fought, but it was just incredible, that one moment. If you just have one moment in a movie, you can still have everything in that one moment. And I thought that was a great moment.
Yeah. So when Man of Steel was coming out, that was the biggest deal in movie history for my lifetime because we hadn't had a Superman movie in my lifetime at that point. Like Superman 4 Quest for Peace came out, I think like in the mid-late 80s. I was born in the late 80s, so I never.
Oh, there was another one. You missed.
Oh yeah, Superman Returns.
The Return. That was. I don't even count that one.
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
I'll go back and watch him catch that airplane, but I do not count that.
Hey, if you don't count it, then
we're good.
Yeah, we're good. It's not on this planet.
Yeah, poor Bryan Singer, man, and I think he's been canceled since then for being a terrible person, but not even getting into any of that. But having Man of Steel coming out, like my parents,
like that.
My parents didn't they've been separated for years at this point, right? My daughter, I can't even remember how old she was exactly, but she was probably like between 7 and probably between 6 and 9, somewhere in that range, without remembering the exact year. But I got my entire family convinced to go to the midnight release of it. And this was before they brought the midnight releases down to like 6 in the afternoon on Thursday. No, if you wanted to see a movie on Thursday, you had to go at midnight. Mm-hmm. So we were all there together. Like it was so sold out that my daughter was sitting in my lap because she didn't want to sit next to a stranger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when Zod snapped his neck, I almost threw her through the theater. Just
she's flying through the screen.
She about went. She about took off.
Look, the other movie that really touched me was The Dark Knight. Because the character, he was really insane, dude. Heath Ledger. They say he sat for like 3 months in a room by himself, creating this persona, and probably on mass quantities of drugs because you know it ended up taking his life. But
Nicholson said that he was on drugs when he was in that role because it was kind of messing with him, so he was trying to get balance back out. So he spoke on playing that character and how it messed with him when they were really trying to get into it.
And he was a great Joker because he looked like he was always smiling anyway. He had that poop eating grin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was insane.
All right, we're 51 minutes.
Yeah, it's 5:39. I was looking at the time. We're about to wake these kids up so it doesn't ruin their evening, and we're going to take them to get some pizza probably. There's a nice restaurant here in town called Giuseppe's. It's an Italian restaurant. There's fancy pizzas. They'll serve it by the slice, but they also can get some. I'm thinking I'm going to go for some eggplant parmesan tonight.
Oh, okay. I'll see you.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate everyone who hopped in here. Thank you for hopping on with me. This obviously went longer than I wanted, but that's a good thing.
Yeah, no problem, brother. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for everything you've been doing for this community. Hey, the chat is wonderful. DJ Links, all you guys, free energy. Man, much love to you.
Yeah, and thank you to the new channel members that we just got, Stephen C. as well as Pocan Joe, and I want to put all the other ones up on the screen. Thank you to all you other guys and gals on here.
Wow.
I definitely could not be more happy to see the kind of response from the community with launching that membership, and I'm still ironing out and trying to do the most I can to make those things worth it and everything for everybody who's joined. So yeah, big thank you to you guys, and also a big thank you to the Augusta Book Exchange. They are the keepers of my comics, the guardians of my pool box. I always make sure everything I'm looking for every week is safe and secure and waiting on me. That's where all the books I pick up today are from. So definitely, if you're ever in the Augusta area, check them out. They're amazing.
Yeah, you're not too far from me. You're in Augusta, and I'm by Knoxville, Tennessee. So
dude, we're gonna have to get up and go hunting then.
Dude, we got a con coming up down here at the end of the 29th, 30th, and 31st of this month.
Where's it at?
Fan Expo, Knoxville Convention Center.
Mm. Dude, it is, and Nick's gonna crucify me for saying this, but it's a logistic nightmare for me to get out to cons and stuff these days.
Oh, I bet.
And he's only saying that because we were talking about all right, hypothetically, there might be or might not be a cult, and if you're in a cult, naturally, if you get big enough, you have to move down to South America. That's just what they proved with Jonestown. So Nick, he was very critiquing me of the fact that I'd be willing to move to South America but not go to a con.
Well, I mean, you got to keep the people happy.
You got to do what you got to do. Hashtag Link Squad.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, it was a funny conversation we're having. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for hopping in here, and be on the lookout. I'm going to try to have a video of a local comic shop that I did a tour through go up tomorrow. If that doesn't go up tomorrow, it'll be a small town collectibles mystery box unboxing. So it'll be something that goes up tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out what it'll be. But until next time, guys, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.